Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the WYSIWYG editor in Cascade. WYSIWYG stands for What You See is What You Get, and means that what you see in the editing window will be mostly what you will see on the published site. You can add and edit things like text, images, and tables in the WYSIWYG editor. The interface is similar to a word processing program such as Microsoft Word. The WYSIWYG editor can be accessed in any column where the column content field is set to WYSIWYG. So to demonstrate this, I will go to this demo page I've just created. It's just called WYSIWYG Demo. I'll click Edit to open it up. And here's our editing window. Now I just select a row, and the row content type needs to be set to on-page content. The other option is row block, and you would use that if you were attaching a block to this row. But we're doing the editor, so I will go down to column now and expand that. And there we can see column content is set to WYSIWYG. The other option is block, and that's again if you're attaching a block to this column. Here is the menu. You've got 5 options, and there are many different sort of functions in there. I'll demonstrate a few of these. And the first thing to notice is that when I place my cursor here on this text, a little P pops up there. That's telling us this is paragraph text. So if you're ever wondering what's going on with some text, look down here and you'll get a clue as to what's happening. I'll demonstrate a few things in the edit menu. So first thing I'm going to do is paste in some lorem ipsum text here, just a placeholder text. It doesn't mean anything. And if I open this up, I can see there's an undo. So it will undo whatever it was I just did. So I click that, there we go, all gone. I'm actually going to redo that. So if I go here, same thing, I get a redo. And there we go, my text is back. The last option in this menu item is paste as text. When this is selected, any text that is pasted into the editor will be stripped of all its formatting, bolding, and all of that. So I'm going to select that because it's probably a good idea to have that selected. So there we go. And the next thing I'm going to look at is format here. So this does things like, we'll just format all this text. I can make it bold. I can make it italic, and also it's obviously right here, you can do the same thing with these buttons. It's just a shortcut. So I can also go to format. So if I wanted to choose a new heading, or just make this text a heading, I can go here, I get drop down menu all the way from heading 1 to heading 6. I'm going to choose heading 2. And one more thing we can look at here is blocks. So I can make it a block quote, say. So I add that, and now it's you can see it's inset a little bit, so it's a block quote. And it's also marked up as a block quote. So if somebody were using a screen reader, their screen reader would tell them this is a block quote. And just to point out, if you look down here, I've got my cursor right here. You can see that this text is strong, which means bold. EM, which means it's emphasis, which means it's in italic. It's a heading, H2 heading, and it's a block quote. So you get all that information just down here. Okay, and we're gonna go look at the next one. So insert, I can do things like, I could insert a link. So say I wanted to make something down here, link text. So I highlight that text, I click insert, click link, and I can choose either internal or external. So I'll just grab something and make it a link here. This is from the UM's photo library. And there we go. There's our link text. This is the text to display is the actual link text. That's what I've got highlighted. And target means either it'll open a new window or in its own window. So if it's target none, it'll open in the current window. New window means it'll open a new window. And class, don't worry about that. That's just adding a CSS class, but we're not going to do that. So I click OK, and there you go. That is now link text. You can see it turns to red when I hover over it. So I'm going to highlight another. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Sorry. We're going to look up another thing to insert. I can insert an image. So I do insert image, and I'm going to choose one that I added here just recently. This is an image of Monty. So I select that. I click choose, and I need to give an image description. This is the alt text. So this is legally required text. You need to have this with every image. So I think this is Monte in front of main hall. This gives you the dimensions, and again, this class is something that you can use. We can actually, with an image, we can pull left or pull right. That's going to align the text left or right. I'm just going to leave it as is, so I click OK, and there we go. There's our image of Monte. And the last thing I'm going to look at in that menu is horizontal line. So I go to image, horizontal line. This will just add a horizontal line wherever you've got the cursor when you select this. So I click that, and there's our HR. There's our horizontal line right there. Okay. I'm going to go down. I'll just demonstrate these last two menu items. First one is table. So this is a table where you want to organize a bunch of data or information that's easy to understand. So the way you do that is just click on table, go here. This is the number of, these are your columns, and if you go down, these are your rows. There's a lot to be said about tables, and I'm doing a whole separate video and page on tables, so I won't go into much more detail than that here, but I will just create one, and there's our table. Okay. And the last thing here is visual aid. So you can see this is checked. Okay, so you can see that all of the cells have a square border around them, so it's easier to visualize what's going on in this table. So that's a result of selecting visual aids. If I turn that off, that all disappears, but I like to keep that on if I'm working with tables, just so I know. I can easily visualize where everything is. And the last option here is in view, and it's show blocks. Now what this does, you can see a bunch of sort of dotted line borders appeared around everything. So it's just saying this is a block with a paragraph. This is a paragraph block as well. There's just nothing in it. Another empty paragraph block. So if you ever get some spacing, you don't know what's going on, you can select that, and you might just see that you've got an empty paragraph somewhere that's causing that issue. This is showing you there is an image here, and same with, it's very hard to see on the video, I'm sure, but it says H2 right there for add your content. Okay, so there you go. This is pretty much it for the WYSIWYG editor. The only thing I haven't covered really is you can choose a bulleted list. You can either do bullets or numbers. You can insert a link and edit a link the same way we did up here, only there's just a button for that. There's a button for inserting and editing an image, and you can expand a full screen if you like. So if I pick that, you just get more room to work there. Okay, the last thing we need to do now is just save our changes. So I go to Preview Draft, and here's all the content that we added. Here's our H2, here's our image, here's the paragraph text, and here is this empty table that I created. So just click Submit, add any comments, submit again. There you go, done. Hope that helps, and I will see you in the next video.